Hey there, Dr. Erickson with EHS Physical Therapy Chiropractic. Wanted to talk about the incidence of how does either a neck or cervical disc injury that affects the neck or the arm, or a lumbar disc injury affecting the low back, maybe even the hip or the leg. How do they typically start? Do they normally start more gradual, kind of onset over time, slowly, or do they usually start more acutely with a certain or specific incident or injury? So they can happen either way, to be honest, but the more common story that we hear is an injury I should back up. The more common story that we hear is more of a gradual onset with times of either the neck or the lower back of going out, or something happens where they'll get a stiffness. It'll happen maybe a couple times a year. Nothing that they did on purpose. And usually, you wake up that way the next day, or you feel something kind of come on later in the day. Some stiffness with turning, some stiffness in the back. It will last for maybe a few days to a week, and then it kind of calms down. You're good for maybe multiple weeks or months. And then that is the kind of the cycle that starts things, where you kind of have intermittent happenings like that. And then what happens is typically there's a one-time incident that really makes it increase or aggravate. And it's usually nothing intense or significant. It could be as simple as bending over to pick something up off the ground. It doesn't have to be a high force accident like lifting a heavy weight or falling, anything like that. That does happen, but that's more rare. That's not as common. It's more common that they can remember incidences in the past where, I was stiff for a few weeks and then it kind of got better. I rested a little bit, went to the doctor, maybe got some anti-inflammatories, did some light stretching, and it calms down. And then that happens a couple times. And then there's that one incidence where you just wake up with it, or you twist, or you read something, you're in a position for a long time, then all of a sudden it's like, the next day it's just really sore. It's way worse than it ever was prior to that. So that's the typical presentation, but it does not mean that it's not fixable. I mean, it's very much still treatable, very much still fixable. You just have to find the right movements, the right combination of loads and end range, directional preference and movements, and you can get that to calm back down. And then what there will be is a steady progression of the right movements and the right loads to decrease the chance that you get those intermittent incidences happening again. There's always a chance, but if you can keep it calmed down and you can keep yourself strong, you can keep those joints mobile, you can stay very consistent with an exercise and fitness program, the chances that it comes back are greatly reduced. So that's the most common way that happens. And so don't be frightened by it. Don't be frustrated or scared by it. It's very normal for it to feel, and that's actually part of the frustration, is that I'm like, man, it didn't bother me that bad in the past. I didn't really do anything significant to cause this level of pain and discomfort. And that's very normal. So just wanted to let you know about that, so it hopefully will ease your mind a bit about, you didn't do anything significant or serious. These are still usually very fixable.